Hello everyone. Today we take a look at another interesting topic, which is on the reclassification from OCI to profit or loss. Some misconception around the topic. So let's get right into it. Reclassification is sometimes referred to as recycling. That is, when you are moving an item from other comprehensive income to the section of the profit or loss in our statement of profit or loss, right? So that is reclassification. It's quite different from when you are moving an item from other component of equity to retained earning. Example of that is maybe there is a evaluation reserve. Maybe you have an property, plant and equipment is being revalued. That gain arising from that will be recorded within the section of the other component of equity, that is revaluation reserve. And when that PPE is being disposed, it is required that you move that revaluation reserve from other components of equity to retained earning. That is not reclassification. That is not reclassification. Reclassification is when you are moving an item from other comprehensive income to profit or loss. That is reclassification. And again, we need to understand the difference between what goes to profit or loss and what goes to other comprehensive income, that is OCI. So there is always a misconception around that. Yes, when you realize items are recorded in the profit or loss, while unrealized items are recorded in other comprehensive income, that is OCI. So within the IASB conceptual framework, if you are looking at the realized item, it's talking about the objective. That item has met its objective. If that item has met its objective, it will be recorded within the profit or loss. But if it does not meet its objective for the purpose of acquiring that asset, it will go to other comprehensive income. An example of that is this. When you have property, plant and equipment, the objective for property, plant and equipment is to be used for the operation. Whatever happened to that PPE as a result of using it for operation, it will be recorded in profit or loss. But if anything happened to it apart from its objective, that it's to be used for the operation, it will be recorded in other comprehensive income. For instance, now, while using the item of PPE for operation, the assets will be depreciated. That depreciation will go to profit or loss. But when the asset increases in value and there is a revaluation gain in that PPE, that revaluation gain is not the objective for acquiring the item with that PPE. Because of that, it has not met its objective. What then happened? That revaluation gain will go to OCI, not profit or loss, right? Then another example I can use in this case is that of the investment property. You all remember that the objective of investment property is for capital appreciation or rental income. If that investment property increase in value, that increase in value will go to section of the profit or loss and not OCI, because the objective for acquiring that investment property is for capital appreciation. So I hope we are clear with the issue of what goes to OCI and what goes to profit or loss. And again, there are some specific standards, IFRS and IAS, that states on which section an item should go, whether profit or loss, or whether it should go to OCI, right? So when we record an item within the section of the other comprehensive income, it is required that the entity must specify which of the OCI will not be reclassified to profit or loss, and those that will be reclassified to profit or loss. So the standard is very clear on which items that will be reclassified to profit or loss, and those that may not be classified back to profit or loss. So let's start to look at those items that may not be classified to profit or loss. An example of that is revaluation gain. When you have a revaluation gain in your property, plant and equipment under IAS 16, that revaluation gain will go to OCI and it will not be reclassified to profit or loss. And also, the intangible asset, the gain arising from that intangible asset, will not be reclassified to profit or loss. Then, the remeasurement gain that arises from defined benefit plan under IAS 19 will not be reclassified to profit or loss, but it will remain in other comprehensive income. Then, equity investment that is measured at fair value through other comprehensive income will not be reclassified to profit or loss. And also, the changes that arises as a result of the entity's own credit risks. That is, you have a financial liability that is measured at fair value through profit or loss. That changes that arises as a result of the entity's own credit risks will not be reclassified back to profit or loss. But if that changes arise as a result of other factors apart from entity's own credit risk, it will go directly to profit or loss. This is within the provision of IFRS 9, which is on the financial instruments, recognition, and measurements. Then, for those items that may not be reclassified to profit or loss, an example of that is effective portion of cash flow hedge. When you hedge your cash flow, maybe you enter into a derivative or trying to mitigate the risks that may arise as a result of the inflow that you are expecting, and you decide to hedge it, and which happen to be a cash flow hedge, that gain or loss that may arise from that cash flow hedge will be reclassified back to profit or loss. And also the translation reserve under IAS 21, if an entity has a foreign operation, year in, year out, there will be a need for entity to be retranslating the foreign currency into functional currency. That gain or loss that arises from the translation of that foreign currency will go to other comprehensive income, right? When the entity, or if the entity loses the control of that subsidiary, that foreign subsidiary, or the entities dispose that foreign subsidiary, that gain or loss arising from the retranslation of that foreign currency will be immediately retransferred or moved to profit or loss. So those are the items that may be reclassified to profit or loss, and those items that may not be classified to profit or loss. I hope that is clear on what is called the classification of OCI to profit or loss. So if you have any questions or comments, you can put it on the comment sections. I will respond to that. Thank you very much.